Hey besties, it's Nina. Hope you guys are doing well. So today is Berry Reset, and the subject today is getting back on track. Whether you've had a regain or you just have stalled and you're not really sticking to plan, let's help you get back on track. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out where we've gone off track. So we need to be honest with ourselves, and sometimes that's very, very difficult. You need to have that one-on-one conversation with yourself. For one, journaling will help you identify what you're eating. You may not realize that you have slider foods that have come in. Slider foods are things that, let's see, that pretty much just open the doorway into, like, we're adding a little bit of rice to your meal. You know, my husband made a soup the other day. Delicious. Really did not need rice. He didn't have to put it in there, but he did. And that was something that, I tried to explain to him why we don't want to do that unless we absolutely need it. So you want to avoid slider foods. You want to track. You want to journal. You want to try to figure out where you're falling off track. Are you eating protein at every meal? Are you eating more starches than you have on your journey? Especially if you've gone through, I'll be honest, I did not introduce starches until I was almost 2 years. And I was able to lose 164 pounds in 2 years. I did have an 8-month stall. I broke my back and then had another injury. And during that time, I didn't gain a single pound. But I had a stall for 8 months and still lost 164 pounds in 2 years by sticking to these. So when you guys are like, well, how do you know that works? I know it from personal experience, okay, for one. Two, I have spent a lot of time with other people in the community you may have heard of. I mean, it's just, we work really hard to get educated so that we can help you guys out. So staying away from the bread, pastas, rice, the 647 bread, all those fake breads that say that they are low carb, low sugar, blah, blah, blah. Don't introduce it until you've gotten to your goal weight because it'll stall you out. Also, starches are going to fill you up quickly and they're calorie dense. So when you eat more starches, you tend to eat less protein, which is why they say every meal should start with the protein. So if you're going out to dinner, you start with your entree, your protein before you have anything else. Are you including vegetables or fruit at each meal? So breakfast is the only meal I don't have a side item with because I'm not a big breakfast eater. So I have a shake. I'm two and a quarter months out from surgery, and I still have a shake for breakfast because I don't like to eat in the morning. It's just not my thing. That just helps me fuel my body and get my protein in first thing. After that, every meal has either a vegetable or a fruit associated to it. Okay, what are you drinking? Are you drinking high calorie drinks? Are you having juices and these Starbucks kind of coffees that have all this macchiato syrups that are not sugar free? While they are delicious, at least Pam says that they are, and other people do too, but they're not for your plan. So learn how to make the skinny versions. You can make them. We have people in our group that attest to making them at home. Jenna Michelle, she's been making them at home for the last week or two, and she's like, they taste as good, if not better, because she can customize it to her taste. Are you drinking fruit smoothies from a store? It's going to be super high in sugar. It's going to have hidden sugars. It's going to have all kinds of stuff in it. Make your fruit smoothie at home. That way you know it's only fruit with either a protein shake. I like to use the Premier Protein Vanilla, and then I add a mixed berry to it. It's delicious. Sodas. Are you having sodas? The carbonation is going to expand your stomach, which makes you feel that you're not full and you're going to be hungrier quicker. So it's not recommended to add carbonation back in. Use skinny syrups. Use flavored packets for your water that are sugar-free. I have not drank a plain water since I had surgery. Every water I drink, and all I don't drink is water and tea. I drink green tea and water, and that is it. Occasionally I'll have a hot chocolate, but that's only in the wintertime, and it's a no sugar added hot chocolate that I make at home. So water is key, but add flavor if you get bored with water, okay? There's no problem. I'll have to show you my water station. Okay, are you snacking between meals? Okay, bariatrics have a meal plan. We have a breakfast. We have an AM snack, usually around 10 a.m.-ish. Depends on when your day starts. You know, you're having a lunch, protein with a veggie. You're having an afternoon snack, protein with a fruit. And you can mix yours up. This is just what I do. Then you're going to have dinner, protein with a veggie. And then I have dessert. I'm a dessert person, always have been. I will have the sugar-free fudge pop. I have one of those, sometimes two. They're what, 35 calories a piece? No problem. Are you snacking when you're not really hungry? Are you having soda? And I'm just using soda as an example. I'm not picking on it, because soda does expand your stomach. And in that expansion, all of a sudden you feel hungry when your body's really not hungry. It's just because it's empty. The space is empty. So if you're having snacks more than you used to, ask yourself, is it head hunger versus real hunger? How do you know? Drink some water, go do something else, get your mind off of it for a little bit. Sorry, my glasses are just messed up. Get your mind off of it and see if you're still hungry. If you are, go have a protein-forward snack. Be smart about it. Don't pick up, something that's going to add carbs to your day, add sugar, because then now you've got to work out extra hard to get that off. Which brings me to exercising. Are you still moving? 30 minutes a day, some days it seems like a lot, right? Break it up into 3 10-minute segments. Sometimes I'm so slammed at work, and I work from home, and I have a home office. But I get so slammed I can't leave my desk to even go to the bathroom some days. And I have to realize I need to stand at least at my desk, and I'll do high knees while I'm working, or I'll pull my walking pad underneath my desk, or, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to take a quick loop around the house or inside the house if it's cold. Find a way to bring movement into your day. The other thing you want to do is attempt to find out why you went off track. Was it an emotional response? Was it stress? Was it, something you're dealing with? The easiest thing to say is food addicts tend to use it as an emotional coping mechanism. And I'm a food addict, so I can tell you that from personal experience. But I also want to say that, surgeons have, and especially our surgeon, recommends going to see a dietitian if you're really having trouble finding where you're going wrong. Okay, why you're gaining weight, why you're not losing weight. Dietitian will have you do this same thing we're going to tell you to do, is journal. Journal for 5 or 6 days. If you're not journaling every day, journal for 5 or 6 days in a row. Every single bite that goes into your mouth, every sip of water that goes into your mouth, mark it. Because you'll actually find some interest. There goes that water again. Some interesting things about yourself. You might see slider foods you didn't realize that you were eating because it just came so naturally, and because you weren't logging it, you didn't notice, and so it was slipping in and causing you to stall. Or you weren't getting enough water or enough protein, and that's why you're stalling. You're not fueling your body. So some reasons that patients tend to get off track is unsupportive family and friends. I know a couple weeks ago, or maybe it's been more like a couple months ago, some of you besties saw my story about what happened with my sister and the jealousy that occurred and how she severed ties with me. She's my half-sister, and we have different dads, but she's my only sister. And she has completely blocked me out of her life. in every way, shape, or form. And it's sad when it gets to that point. I had a rough week. And I want to say it's been longer than a week that I've had issues with it, of course. But that first week, I let it obliterate my diet. And, excuse me. And when I finally really got my head wrapped around it, I realized her jealousy cannot affect my life. I can't let it derail all the hard work I've done. So I jumped right back on the bandwagon. I started journaling again to help with my emotions, to help with how I was feeling, to give myself some positive reinforcement. Because you know what? Sometimes family is, while they say they love you, how they show it is different than how they say it sometimes. That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes it's time management, guys. And I'm not going to say that you have poor time management skills. Lord be. If you're parents, if you're grandparents, if you're an employee, I mean, we are busy. Let's face it. I mean, we're going to school, we're going to work, if we're going to work and we've got kids, we're helping them with their schoolwork when they get home, we're feeding them, we're getting them to bed, then we get 5 minutes to ourselves before we have to go to bed. And then we start over the next day. I get it. Life is busy. If you don't have kids, life is still busy because it's full of everything else that you've put in it. And that's okay. But we have to find time for ourselves. And that's what self-care what self-care really means is caring enough about yourself to put yourself as a priority. If you're not working out, 3 10-minutes, you can break up an exercise into 3 10-minute segments. Meal prepping. While you don't have to actually sit there and cook on Sunday all your meals, you have to at least have what you need to get through the week and make it easy to grab. Okay? I don't mind meal prepping every night. I do it for my husband now. I get his stuff ready. But I do it at night. I don't do it on one day for the whole week because I just can't stand there for 2-3 hours and do that. That just doesn't work for me. But at night, after we've eaten dinner, I take the leftovers and just divvy it up into the bowls. And to me, that's meal prepping and I'm getting it done. Stress. I'm going to bring that one up one more time. It is the number one leading cause of gaining weight in food addicts. And that's the key word is food addicts. I'm a food addict. I know Pam says that she's a food addict. We are both food addicts, and our immediate response to tragedy, to negativity, is to eat. It's just, that's what we've done. That's why we got to the sizes that we were. Stress can come from work. It can come from family. It can come from financial. Again, journaling helps with that stress because you can pinpoint what the stress point is. And one of the things I've said in the past is if I'm having an emotional reaction to a stress point, and I don't know about you, but my whole chest flares up when my emotions get set off. And I know I'm about to either have a panic attack or I'm getting ready to go off the rails. I've learned that if I take a moment, write down what bothered me, what triggered me, and I say, I'll look at it later. I do better. And I do look at it later. Before I go to bed, I look at it again. And then I talk myself through it. I'm better, and this is part of the mindset. I'm better in dealing with stress moments now than I was in the beginning because I did that. Emotional stress leads to stress eating. Remember that bariatric surgery only changes the size of your stomach. It does not change your brain and how you cope with stress. You still have the same job, the same family, the same spouse, same children, etc., same problems. While surgery can lead you to a healthier life, it's not a completely new life. That's where training your mindset is key. That first year, the first 2 years, really focusing on mindset is key to your long-term success. So all in all, getting back on track is getting back to basics, making sure that you're getting the right foods in your system, that you are getting movement in, that you are taking care of yourself as a priority, you're giving yourself self-care, you're motivated, and your mindset is where it needs to be. Guys, I appreciate your time today, and I hope this helped. We'll talk to you soon.